Let's move on to the Russian angle. John Hardie is the director of Russia program at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Good evening to you, and thank you for joining us. We are seeing now a strong and growing cooperation between Iran and Russia. Now even a talk of Iran selling ballistic missiles to Russia. Don't the Russians have enough of those already, by the way?
Well, thanks for having me on your program. I mean, the Russians have certainly increased their production of Iskander ballistic missiles and other missile systems since the full-scale war in Ukraine began. However, they could always use more, and the close-range ballistic missiles that Iran would provide, as I said, they're a little bit shorter range. So whereas the Iskanders maybe range 400, 500 kilometers, are useful for hitting deep targets, including critical infrastructure, the Iranian missiles would be used more in a tactical role. So it could allow Russia to conserve some of those longer range missiles for strikes on the targets I mentioned.
How is the war in Ukraine have been influencing Russian thinking vis-a-vis the Middle East?
Well, one goal is, or one benefit rather, of the current crisis is to distract the West, and in general, Russia wants to try to, build ties with non-Western countries, if you want to call it the global South, or basically countries that are either enemies with the West or want to kind of maintain a neutral position. So certain countries in the Middle East are crucial to that. The UAE, Qatar, the Saudis all have various levels of cooperation with Russia. And of course, Iran has become an important source of Shahed strike drones, a little bit of artillery ammunition, and now potentially ballistic missiles.
Have the Ukrainians made a serious progress in the past couple of days in the battlefield?
Well, you're referring to the offensive in Russia's Kursk Oblast. Yes, absolutely. The offensive began on August 6th, caught the Russians by surprise. The border was weakly defended. Ukraine attacked with a highly mobile force that was able to push rapidly, 15, 20 kilometers deep into Russia, and they've since made some more gains. The Russians are flowing reinforcements to that area, so I think it's starting to stabilize to a degree, and the Russian defense is becoming more coherent. But at the same time, the Ukrainians are also taking this opportunity to dig in and try to put up their own stout defense to potentially hold the territory they've occupied.
John Hardie, thank you very much for that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.